Hello everyone, I'm Beastly Eel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of X-Men 97. And in this episode we have a lot to discuss. A lot of things are known now that we didn't know before. So we have a lot of things to discuss. So let me go detail by detail as much as I can. So we have the idea of trying to figure out who this Bastion is and kind of what's going on and who's causing all this destruction and everything else. They then find out we have Cable, Jean Grey, Cyclops going to Sebastian's home, or aka Bastion, his childhood home, while the rest of the X-Men are tending to Rogue and trying to figure out what's going on, while um, Jubilee and Sunspot is at the mall buying things. So during this entire thing seems to be of great peace and prosperity. Um, until the UN person is trying to talk to Magneto, who's refusing to speak to her. And then we have Bastion showing off his plans about the Prime Sentinels and how humans are being used as test subjects, becoming Prime Sentinels. And she's asking, like, how many are there? And he's like, I've been doing this for years, and when they're done with the project, they don't remember anything of coming here whatsoever. And so Beast uses Cerebro to try to figure out how many are there out there, and he comes to find out there is a bunch of them. I almost said billion, but that's not accurate. Although, based on what I saw, maybe not entirely inaccurate. So they begin to start activating. The reporter is one. We have a bunch of other people popping up as Prime Sentinels. So then we have the War of the Prime Sentinels. But before that happens, as I've talked about all that, we have a big story figuring out about Bastion. Apparently, Nimrod was destroyed in their timeline. A piece of him joined together into Sebastian's father, into his DNA. When Bastion was born, he was thought to be a mutant, and it turns out he was something even greater. Apparently, a Sentinel human hybrid. Why is that a thing? Well, people, it's comics. We have to go with it. Creepy as all heck. So he had a vision of destroying all of mutant kind and have the new age of machine human hybrids occupying Earth. And that was his goal. Sounds like his goal is getting a lot closer to happening. So we then have fights like you would not believe. We have, it turns out Sebastian's mother is one of them. Bastion's mother is one of them. And Cable, Jean Grey, and Cyclops begin to fight her when they find out there is a bunch of other Prime Sentinels aiming to get rid of them. So they begin to take off in a vehicle, trying to blast their way out, to the point where they are going toe to toe against a bunch of them at once, willing to die together as a family. In the X, I'm sorry, in with Jubilee and Sunspot, they begin to try to destroy as many Prime Sentinels as they can, but it seems like every time you destroy one, it puts itself back together. So they begin to try to go as far as much as possible together, and that's when Sunspot flies, picks up Jubilee, and the two of them fly to his mother's place, where the Prime Sentinels stop there to try to explain to the humans that they're not there to destroy mutants, they're there to keep them in line. And that's when his mother is like, please do what they say. And the two of them surrender. Granted, I think Jubilee more reluctantly than Sunspot. The two of them are captured now. So then we have Beast, Morph, Wolverine, and Nightcrawler dealing with the Prime Sentinels that are there. Morph and Beast are taken out pretty quickly. And the Prime Sentinels are trying to remove Wolverine. He gets blasted a lot. Apparently, he has a healing factor now, which is great. I say it that way because in the original animated series, his healing factor didn't work all that well. So he then gets up to where Rogue is because they wanted to kill Rogue, and he begins to slice them up with none other than Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler wielding 3 swords, one in each hand and one on his tail, and Wolverine with his 6 claws. They begin to slice through Prime Sentinels rather easily, but they're still not able to destroy them because they keep pulling themselves back together. Well, Nightcrawler has the greatest idea of teleporting all the Prime Sentinels away to another location where they can continue their fight. Well, while this is all going on, and pandemonium is happening around the world because Prime Sentinels are attacking mutants everywhere. We then have the UN president, I mean, the UN person, um, released Magneto, and Bastion is not happy about that, so creates a portal to go back to the lab where he finds her, stating that she did what she had to because she realized she backed the wrong monster. He then put her in a techno web, I guess the best way to put it, um, and begin to explain to her that he's going to do whatever he can to make sure that, well, mutants are no longer a problem. And during this, we find out that there is a bunch of people a part of the um, UN, 2 of which are villains that we know from, well, Marvel Universe in general, but it is Doctor Doom and Baron Zemo, who are both unhappy with the idea of the Prime Sentinels happening without their approval slash knowledge of happening. There's a woman also talking as well that I think is Madame Masquerade, but I'm not 100% sure because we never got to see her face or anything else. So we'll have to wait and see to find out if we know we ever find out who that is. So Magneto goes to the North Pole with nothing but his underwear on and creates with his magnetism ability to manipulate magnetic fields. He causes a massive EMP throughout the entire world, shutting down every Prime Sentinel in its wake, plus any electronic device at all. During this, we actually hear Wolverine saying, I can't believe Magneto just did that. And Nightcrawler goes, I know, I can't believe he stopped all the Prime Sentinels. And Wolverine goes, no, he just declared war. And then we have a ship crash landing into the X Mansion where they all run towards it. And it turns out to be none other than Charles Xavier, who then calls for his X Men, which is Storm, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and everyone else that could be imagined. And that, my friends, is the end of the episode. So realistically, I think we're going to be leading towards Magneto and Charles having to team up to stop Bastion and the Prime Sentinels. But I think the last episode is going to show Magneto's ways versus Charles's ways. One big clash for the end of the season. That's my prediction. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But let me know in the comments about how you felt about this episode. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a great night.